Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We thought today's video we are going to take you behind the scenes of our studio and give you the full tour. So does that sound like fun?
Sounds like a blast.
For those of you out of the loop, Kale and I just moved here from Ontario and we're now in Calgary, Alberta. And one of the big selling points of this house was the basement, and that is where our studio is. So let's go down the stairs into this room, into the studio. So we're not at the studio yet, we're just at the first landing. Let's turn the corner and the first thing you're gonna see is some of our storage racks. So let's go down here, I'm gonna turn this on. So the first thing you see when you walk down these stairs are these big black racks that we got from IKEA. This is the Bror system. And what's really neat about the Bror system is that you can get the frame of the shelves and then buy as many actual shelves as you need, which we thought was perfect for storing things like soap that's curing or bath bombs that are drying. These shelves are deep and they're not very tall. And I think that's perfect for product storage pretty much. Over here is our bath bomb rack, and these baskets are also from IKEA. And each one holds a certain scent or two of bath bombs. And what we love about them is the fact that they have really good airflow. So the bath bombs can continue to dry out and get even harder as the days go by. We do use a biodegradable film to wrap the bath bombs. And it's perforated, so there's still moisture being released by the bath bombs through the film. But we like that there's extra circulation through these baskets. And the fact that they're so deep is a huge plus too, because you can store a lot of bath bombs this way. Another huge plus, and I don't know if IKEA intended this, but these baskets fit perfectly into the Bror system. These two pieces are from separate collections in IKEA, but the fact that these fit so perfectly made it even more awesome for us and an easier choice to make in terms of how to store our bath bombs. And to dry the soaps, we have them on these lunch trays. I got this free from somewhere. It was just like a business that was shutting down and they gave them away, so I was like, yes. As you guys can see, we have some Easter products that are currently drying out. These will be launched very soon. We're still in the process of making them. Our Georgian Bay is one of our best selling soaps. If you can see here, how gorgeous is this soap? We make so many of these Georgian Bay soap bars. And then down here is more of our Easter products that we're preparing. This is actually really cool. Right now they look very purple, but just yesterday they were blue. That's the thing about purple dyes. They act funny sometimes. So these little eggs were made by the Bath Bomb Press, and you can see how the very tops of them are still a light blue. This has been progressively getting more purple over the days, and this gradient looks really interesting, but I don't think this is what the final bath bomb is actually going to look like. I just think the science of it all is really cool. Sometimes we run out of trays, and when we do run out of trays, the thing that we like to use instead are these boxes that we get tons of just from ordering jars and other types of supplies. You can see this is an 8-ounce jar box that we got from Uline, but we are repurposing it to house some shampoo bars. So these cardboard boxes really help to ensure that these shampoo bars get proper circulation and that they're able to dry out to create a solid bar that will last a long time in the shower. Now over here is another piece of IKEA furniture that we really like. This is from their Alex series, and you might recognize it from a lot of beauty gurus if you follow them on YouTube. They all have this storage unit, and I think the reason why is because they have these really shallow shelves that are perfect to store little things. Above the Alex unit, we have our bunny hug candles. We're releasing a bunch of Easter stuff in a couple of days. If you want to know exactly when, follow us on Instagram. We will announce everything there. We have a few products for Easter coming out. In the first drawer, we have all of our lip balms, and these little containers we also got from IKEA. Further down, we have our lotions, our sugar scrubs, and these jars, they're 8-ounce straight-sided glass jars from Uline. They fit into these shallower drawers perfectly. And then down here, you have some of the deeper drawers. And Kale has his conditioner bars that are stored in here. These boxes here were perfect for our conditioner bars. And do you remember, Kale, what was stored in here before? Were they other?
Yeah, they were. It was a different supplier, a different glass supplier. It was the 4-ounce little skinny jars that we had. Yeah.
Well, they are perfect for these conditioner bars. Down here, we have our sugar scrubs.
It's our colorful drawer.
Yeah. They are stored really nicely here. They're away from the sunlight in order for it to be the best product that it can be before it's shipped to the customer. Just store it in a cool, dry, dark place. So over on this shelf, there are ingredients that we aren't actively using right now. That's in our main studio space, which we will show you in just a bit, I promise. These are all ingredients that we aren't really reaching for right now, but we want them to be within easy reach when the time does come to use them. So up here is a lot of our liquid additives. We've got some surfactants. I have here foaming apple, some benzoin resinoid, and I have not yet started experimenting with them, but I will soon. Now that we are more settled into our studio space, I can start doing that. So that's exciting. And over on this shelf, we have some emulsifiers and our clays and a few of our extra botanicals, embellishments that we'd like to add to our soaps and bath bombs. And then down here are big drums of the fragrances and essential oils that we use a lot. For those curious where I got this shelf, this is also from IKEA. So now in this room is our storage area. So let's go. Come follow me and I'll walk you through what's in here. So this room was a huge mess before. It was really hard to get to things, and we had just moved here from Ontario, so things were chaotic, and I'm actually sad that we didn't take a picture of what it looked like before, because this is pretty impressive now. One of the big improvements to this space was this big rack that we got from Costco. This guy is super sturdy. We actually own a couple of these because they are so awesome for ingredient storage, for big box storage like these guys. These containers or totes, they are also from Costco. And in here we store a lot of our really big bulk ingredients like cocoa butter, big bags of stearic acid, our big bags of citric acid, and we also have all of our jars here. We get the majority of our jars from Uline, and we really like their jars a lot. And over here are boxes of palm oil that we get sustainably sourced. And over here we have our olive oil and our Arm & Hammer baking soda that we get from Costco.
A little dark in there, but that's all good.
And the rest of these boxes contain packaging items like deodorant tubes, spray bottles. They're basically all things that you would use to package products in, and because I experiment a lot, I like to have a wide variety of different containers. So we have them here in different boxes. I hope to in the future have a better organization of them, but right now they're just, you know, boxes. I mean, we spent how long this morning trying to find lip balm caps?
A good 30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely need a better way to store things, but you know, oh well. Over here we have our pails of kaolin clay, hemp seed oil, coconut oil, and distilled water, and boxes of SLSA. We go through a lot of that stuff, and SCI powder. So we buy it in as big of a bulk as we can. This is just a really useful space to have, something that we didn't have in our old house in Midland because our house is really small.
There's a broom and dustpan for some activated charcoal that was spilled.
Oh, yeah. A lot of things that we spilled, this is good for picking up. We're really messy people, actually. So that was the storage or main storage part of our studio. I'm gonna show you the actual making section of our studio, so it's right over here. So this is where the magic happens, and you are a little bit further back than how I usually have you positioned. I have you guys over here. This is how close you normally are, but where Kale is, you can really get a sense of the production value that goes into each and every video that we make down here. These studio lights really help to light up the space. Like I mentioned, the studio is super dark. I will do a video, I think, in the future about all of my filming equipment. I think that is something that a lot of you guys would be interested in. I don't know, let me know in the comments. But let me give you guys a closer look as to what we have stored here. So let's go start in this side of the room first. So over here are my oils and butters that I reach for a lot, and they're ones that we're actively using. You can see here, this olive oil is almost done. The rest of these storage units we've talked about in previous videos, so I'll link them up here if you want to check that out. But these are also from IKEA. This is from IKEA, that's from IKEA. And on this big guy are the ingredients that I'm reaching for all the time. And I have these bins to help classify the ingredients so that I know where things are. In this shelf over here, we have clays and specialty powders, powdered additives like marshmallow root powder, which I'm really excited to play around with at some point. But a lot of our exfoliants are also on this shelf, and our surfactants are also up on this shelf. And then the shelf below, we have our waxes, our emulsifiers, and a few other extra ingredients. And then the shelf below here, we have a lot of our liquid additives. It's where I store my extracts, my preservatives, my specialty oils, hydrolyzed proteins are also on the shelf. And then in the very bottom shelf, we have big bins of coconut oil, palm oil, and distilled water. So this is our fragrance oil locker that Kale put together for me, and you had a lot of fun putting this locker together, right, Kale?
Oh, just a blast.
This is actually one of the more complicated IKEA furnitures that he had to put together. I think it was the drawer, this part, right? That was
dang hinges, yeah.
Yeah, those hinges were kind of difficult for you because your hands are big and there's a lot of small screws that you need to screw in.
Yep, but it's together.
It's together.
And it's done.
Yeah.
And it works very well.
And I think for someone who is a mid-level or mid-tier soaper who has a big collection of fragrance oils, this is a great storage solution for that. And my essential oils are all here in the bottom drawer. I like that these guys open with a swinging door, and this one's a drawer, so it's deeper, and I have access to the different essential oils in the back of the drawer. But overall, I just really, really like this locker. And up here on the top, we have all of our flavor oils. And for this part of the wall, this is my glitter colors wall. It's a really fun wall. And we got these floating shelves from IKEA. They sell them in different sizes. There's this really long size, and then they sell shelves that are about half the size. So you can really customize your space depending on how much room you have. But they're really sturdy. I can store a lot of colorants and glitters on these shelves, and I'm really glad we got them. And directly below them are my bath bomb dies. And these risers are spice organizers that I got from Bed Bath & Beyond. Over here is a fun hanging wall with hooks that we got from IKEA. The pails are from the dollar store. And we put a lot of our tools that we use all the time in these pails. And I'm thinking of actually putting some labels over here because Kale has been misplacing a lot of the tools, and yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Shots fired.
This little pouch here is where I keep my immersion blender. This is also from IKEA. I just really liked how this looked. It was nice to be able to hang things so that you're not using up valuable shelf space for other things. Like for example, the shelf space that we used here is awesome for our bath bomb press, our KitchenAid mixer. If you go further this way, we have our 2 Presso pots that we got from Sweet Little Candle Co. We bought them off of Amazon. I have a link in my description box below. So when we viewed this house, this area was like another living room where you can put a TV and couches. So we've reused this TV unit storage thing as our main shelf for a lot of our supplies, but we really like these little cavities here because they perfectly fit our hot plates that we got also from Amazon.
Yeah, down there people could have put their VCR or their Super Nintendo.
And these shelves are also from IKEA. We really liked that they are this material. It makes it super easy to clean. And on here we have a lot of our other bigger tools like our scale, my soap cutter, and my gloves that I use, hairnets, and the extra KitchenAid attachments are also here. One of the things that we really needed in the studio space was a microwave, and so we got one from, I think this was from Costco?
Yeah, this was Costco.
So we got this guy from Canadian Tire, and it ended up being perfect, not just for this microwave, but it also is perfect for the door that's here. It doesn't obstruct the door from opening and closing, which is perfect. So we also wanted space to be able to hang up things like jackets and my apron and my respirator. So we used this wall here and hung up this hanger unit from IKEA, and it's been really handy just having stuff right here. And if you pan over to this side, We have these two really big bins from Costco, and they have our baking soda and citric acid inside of it. And this table we got from Uline, and it's one of the best things I ever bought for my business. I love how much workspace that I have. And also, it just makes it really convenient when filming too, to have such a big table that looks clean all the time. Because earlier subscribers will remember the surface that I used to work on in the Midland house, and it was that bath bomb dye stained kitchen island. So this is a much nicer surface. I really, really like it a lot. And for those wondering what this is, I recently got this, and this helps me film what I'm doing from a more overhead angle, and I've been finding that my videos have been better for it, but also my social media videos have been doing really, really good. And you can find a link to this phone stand in my description box below. Highly recommend it. It's a little pricey, but I had been looking for something like this for a long time, and I haven't found anything like it, and I think it's well worth the price tag. So this is where Kale packages our orders, and it's a little bit of a mess. We're working on it. But this shelf, we definitely don't think it should be here. It's a Costco shelf that's really great for storing a lot of heavy items, so it's kind of wasted just storing these flat labels here. I'm pretty sure we can find a different storage solution for that. So we have plans to move this out of this space and maybe have it over in that area. We have the shelves here that we need to add to it so that we can just add a little bit more storage. But right now Kale's using it to store, like I said, the labels and also a printer. And behind it, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is a Murphy bed behind this shelf. The previous owners, they were staging this space as a separate suite from the rest of the house. So this area would have been another bedroom. So this pulls down into a bed. Our future plans with this Murphy bed is to just take it apart, either sell it or move it to another room in one of the other bedrooms of this house, because there's a good foot of space that it's taking up, and it's space that we could definitely use for our business. As you can see, it's pretty cramped in here already. I don't like this room, but Kale seems to be fine working in here.
I tidied up the surface of the packing area there.
That's nice. But this packaging table is from Uline, and we have it at a higher height than usual because Kale does the majority of the packaging. So he likes to have his surface a little bit higher than the average person because Kale is 6 foot tall. But we really like this table, not just for that, but because it has all these other shelves and compartments, this rod here that holds bubble wrap and craft paper that is all helpful for packing things and making that process easier and quicker. And another thing that sold me on this table were these dividers where you can put different size boxes in their own little cubby. And if you come a little bit closer, Kale, we have a scale here that's just for our shipments, and we used to use our KD 8000 for our scale to gauge the weight. It's nice to have a dedicated scale just for packages right here that doesn't move around all the time.
You're right. It's so nice to be using my own scale, because sometimes I would come over and raid your area and take your scale when you were making.
And one of the great things about this space is that it is a walkout, so you can see it has a nice big window that looks out into the backyard, so that when Kale's packaging is not completely monotonous for him. He's able to just look out and have a little bit of a view. And right next to Kale's packaging table is this heat sealing station, and we use this area to keep our National Shrink Wrap system, which is what we use to wrap all of our soaps and our bath bombs. We found that having this area here is great because there's outlets here that you can plug our tools into, and it almost fits perfectly. A good portion of it juts out, so we can't close the doors in this room. But once we move the Murphy bed out of this room, we might have more square footage to play around with. So in the meantime, we're just gonna keep it here. And when we were looking at basement units for our studio, it was really important to us that there was a sink area already installed because we wash a lot of dishes here. And when we saw this space, we thought it was perfect for what we wanted it to be. So let me show you it. This is our dish area slash mold storage area. And we really like that it's a pretty deep sink. And over here we have our fridge area where we like to put in product that needs to cool down really fast. There was a wine fridge here, but it wasn't working when we moved in, so we've taken that out and put this guy in. This is from Costco. So because the previous owners planned the space to be more of a drink or bar area, it's really not outfitted the best to be washing a lot of dishes. So in the future, we do have plans to maybe rip this out, put in a more industrial dishwashing setup that will be better for washing our dishes. We really like these shelves here because I can store my glassware, I can store my pots here, and they're all within easy reach, but also a great spot to just pop them up there once we're done washing them and they're done drying. And then over here, we have more of those shelves, and we have our candle making equipment, our stainless steel bowls, our soap molds are over here. These are our Winston and Walter molds that we love, love, love so much. And then below, we have these baskets that I got from the dollar store, and each basket holds a specific type of bath bomb mold or a silicone mold. So over here we have our aluminum molds for the bath bomb press, and you can see I have quite a number of them. Right next to it is our 3D molds, and we also have the hybrid molds here that we got from Breaking the Mold YYC, but I am amassing quite a collection of these 3D molds. Next to that, we have our everything else type of mold. So these vacuum molds you might recognize from my sushi video. And these are the molds that I actually started out with. These aluminum half spheres that I got from Windy Point. And these are great for bath bomb making. If you're just starting, these guys don't cost very much and they make great bath bombs. And then in this basket is everything silicone. So we have our lip balm filling tray, we have our embed tray. We have my very first soap mold that I ever bought. This is the 2-pound mold from Crafter's Choice that a lot of people start out with. This is all right over here. So that was the dishwashing / mold area. Over here is a really interesting part of the studio, which we're gonna show you anyways because why not? Behind these barn doors is a really nice bathroom. Way too nice for this space. It's actually nicer than our main bathroom. But come here, come inside. This is actually Kale's favorite part of the house, I think.
Yep, I was in here last night in a
Yeah.
steam shower.
So this is a gorgeous steam shower with, what is it? Rainwater shower head or a rain shower head.
Like a rockery textured floor. There's the rain shower head that Jericho was talking about. There's 3 different shower heads in this. In this shower.
And it's a shame that it's down here because I don't use it as much as I would like because it's so far away from our bedroom. But a really cool feature of the steam shower is this little touch panel here where this is how you actually control the steam that comes out of the faucets, but it also controls the lights in here. So if I press the button, I can pick a certain color, and according to this touchpad, each color has a correlation to some sort of mood. So for example, right now it's set on pink, which it's telling me this is the relax color. If I go hit green, this is bliss color. And they also installed this LED light over here that we're trying to figure out how to turn off. We're not sure yet. That's a project that we need to figure out.
Yeah, we need to spend some time to figure that out.
So that is the entire tour. I have been so excited ever since we moved here to show you guys the whole thing, and it's still a work in progress. We're still adding to it, we're still changing things about it, so this is not the final iteration. But looking back to where we came from to where we are now, I'm so grateful and love this space so much. And I've been really enjoying making products. And it's really helped having a space where I can just close the door on it if I wanted to escape from it. If you want more details about the studio space, I have other videos about it, about the specific furniture, about me buying stuff. A lot of it's on my the Zimmerman Life channel, which I haven't abandoned, don't worry. But I also have articles on my studio space on my Patreon, and if you want to check out my Patreon, you can do that. It's linked in my description box. Thank you to everybody who has chosen to support me on there, especially my Bubble BFFs. These guys are fantastic and so generous and so supportive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is it. Thank you so much to Kale who helped me film this video.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
He'll be in more future videos, I promise. I really hope that you like this studio tour and it's helped inspire you guys, have given you ideas if you're designing your own studio spaces. And if it has, give it a huge thumbs up. And if you want to watch the evolution of the space, then please subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys!